Hello, my Sonic the Hedgehog fans. We just got ourselves the first reactions from people who have gotten to see Sonic the Hedgehog 3. The release date is approaching rapidly. It'll be here before we know it. And now we can finally hear, is the wait going to be worth it? I'll be exploring some of these early reactions, along with the first clip of the film that was recently shared online. Exciting, right? But this isn't just about my perspective. I want to hear from all of you. As you check out these reactions, do you take them seriously? Or do you think people are just hyping it up? I've seen both positive and negative feedback. Yes, there's some criticisms as well. Plus, I'm eager to know your thoughts on that first clip they unveiled. In the last few days, a select group of individuals has had the opportunity to view Sonic Movie 3. They can share their reactions on social media, but full reviews won't be allowed until December 18th. But until then, we have here now our first couple of reactions. So I'm going to get into the positive ones, then I'm going to get into some negative ones. Starting off here with one of the first reactions. Sonic Movie 3 is an absolute blast and a dream come true for Sonic fans. Keanu Reeves is effortlessly cool and brings so much style and raw intensity to Shadow, whose origin fans will love to see brought to life. Heartfelt, hilarious, and hands down the best Sonic adventure yet. Yet another review here says, it's not often that each movie gets better in a trilogy, but Sonic Movie 3 is the best of the bunch. There's action-packed goofiness, plenty thanks to Jim Carrey pulling double duty, but what I didn't expect was a surprisingly moving performance from Keanu Reeves and a third act that might make Sonic fans a little wimpy-eyed. Also, there's two big post-credit scenes, so avoid spoilers. It's clear Jeff Fowler and crew have a great affinity for the blue blur, and he's not going anywhere anytime soon. One more before we get to talking about these. Surprising no one, Sonic Movie 3 is the best Sonic yet. It's also the best video game adaptation to date, with electrifying action, truly touching moments, and Jim Carrey doing what he does best. Sonic 3 marks a wonderfully chaotic end of the year. What an utter blast! There's a lot to unpack here. Many people are calling this the best Sonic movie by far. And honestly, I believe it. The first film had a mixed reception. It followed the familiar trope of a fish out of water, with Sonic being transported from his world to ours for a road trip with Donut Lord. It was entertaining enough, and I enjoyed it. Then came Sonic Movie 2, which I found quite enjoyable, especially because it embraced many elements from the video games that fans love. However, that might have created a divide among general audiences. Now, the third movie seems to deliver everything Sonic fans have been hoping for, especially with the introduction of Shadow and a proper exploration of his origin story. That was my biggest concern going into this film. Let's dive into that newly released clip. They unveiled a 1-minute and 40-second segment showcasing the first clash between Team Sonic and Shadow. I have to say, this clip really got me excited, especially watching Shadow take down Knuckles with his chaos control. It gives off major Dragon Ball Z vibes, and many reactions suggest that the final battle will be a sight to behold. I can only imagine how epic that will be, considering this is just one of the early confrontations in the film. However, despite the excitement surrounding this clip, the comments raise a concern I had about the movie. Can it effectively balance the kid-friendly humor with the more serious tones? And will that impact Shadow's darker persona? Like, this is kind of funny.
Why do you look like me?
I don't look like you. You look like me. Why do you look like me?
Shadow genuinely seems confused why Sonic looks like him. Yet the dialogue often feels like there's a punchline in nearly every line. This can come off as somewhat cheesy.
Now come on, you can't take us all at once. Okay, he took us all at once.
Such humor detracts from the serious atmosphere that many viewers anticipated. Given these initial reactions, I'm curious to find out if this is a significant problem in the film. And well, that leads us into some of the negative reactions from people who saw Sonic 3. So one of them actually surprisingly comes from Soups, a popular voice online who is mainly known for hyping up movies. His is one of the only semi-negative reviews on Sonic 3. He starts off with, I like Sonic Movie 3. It has the perfect action in the trilogy by far. Keanu is perfect as Shadow. Jim Carrey doesn't disappoint, and there's a lot of cool moments. But the big emotional ones felt hollow to me. They didn't move me the way they did in the first two films, which were also funnier. This film is constantly racing towards the next action scene and felt a little generic in its story. There's still really cool stuff to see, and I enjoyed it for the most part, but I wish I liked this more. That caught me off guard. Honestly, I've noticed Soup's really promoting this film, and it's easy to elevate a movie we're eager to see to an unrealistic level. When we finally watch it, it often fails to live up to that excitement. However, he brings up a concern I share regarding this film. Some of the emotional moments might come across as lacking depth. I hope the Shadow's backstory resonates, along with any other emotional scenes. I've seen other reviews mentioning that some viewers were in tears by the film's conclusion. Here's one which comes from Jeffrey Vega, who works for IGN. He said, "I've seen Sonic 3, and I was surprised that my favorite emotional arc was actually with Dr. Robotnik. The cast is wonderful and goofy as ever, and I teared up when I heard spoiler. Also, you are not prepared for the mid-credit scene. One of the quirky aspects from the trailers that piqued my curiosity is how they will explain the bizarre scenes featuring Jim Carrey as both Robotnik and Gerald. It appears they plan to embrace this oddity and infuse it with emotional depth, and I'm genuinely excited to see how it unfolds. But getting on to what is probably the most negative review I've seen so far of Sonic 3. The only way I can describe Sonic 3 is as a Marvel movie mixed with a Minions movie mixed with Spy Kids. Everything from the franchise, good and bad, is multiplied by 100. Shadow remains the coolest fictional character in history. Even the negative feedback suggests that Shadow still shines. Keanu really brought his A-game, and they crafted some impressive scenes with him, which is a relief. We definitely didn't want Shadow to be mishandled. However, comparing this film to a mix of Minions, a Marvel movie, and Spy Kids, that's a combination I'm hesitant to dive into. Also, the idea that both the good and bad elements are amplified by a factor of 100 is a bit unsettling, right? It implies that the exciting moments will be exhilarating, but the flaws will be equally hard to overlook due to their intensity. It reminds me of The Amazing Spider-Man 2, where the highs are truly fantastic, yet the lows are glaring. That's what makes it such a mixed experience. Still, I doubt this film will be as polarizing as The Amazing Spider-Man 2. We'll see how it plays out in a couple of weeks. The only remaining mystery, and one I'm hesitant to explore too deeply, is the intriguing post-credit scenes. We've heard there are two, and attendees are confirming that they definitely tease the future of the Sonic movie franchise. What intrigues me is that these seem to be the first post-credit scenes in the Sonic films where the possibilities are truly unpredictable. In the first movie, it was clear that Tails would appear in the post-credit scene, and he did. Then, in the second installment, with Knuckles and Tails already integrated into the plot, it was a given that Shadow would make an appearance in the post-credit scene. Now, as we approach the third movie, I don't think there's a clear choice. My instinct leans towards Amy, but with so much hype surrounding it, is Amy really a significant enough character for a post-credit scene? What would really blow my mind would be the introduction of Metal Sonic. That's what I'm hoping for. Others are leaning towards Silver, and I find myself questioning, are Silver, Metal Sonic, or even Amy substantial enough to elicit a strong reaction from general audiences? I genuinely don't know, and to be honest, I'm a bit apprehensive about discovering the answer. I think I'll avoid the comment section for the next few days to keep myself unspoiled. Now, I turn it over to you all. You've seen the initial reactions to Sonic Movie 3. Are they thrilling or a bit concerning for you? Personally, I'm expecting a fantastic film with a few cringeworthy moments, but I doubt those will detract from the overall enjoyment that's been promised. I'll share my thoughts once I finally see it at the end of the week, as I'm eagerly counting down the days. I'd love to hear your opinions on this. Don't forget to like, subscribe. As always, I'm Andrew. Take care.